Testing one, two, testing one, two. How the audio sounding so far?
Hold on. I hear it on my end. Let me see if I can hear it. Let me put up the audio on the computer.
All right.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Test. I can
Testing.
hear you. Testing one, two, testing one, two.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What's up, TFT? How's the
What's
audio?
up, TNT?
Mr. D, Mr. D, how you doing this morning? How the audio sounding so far?
Sound good. Sound good.
Okay, you go ahead and turn the volume down on your other device. So you back into the M Town, Mr. D? We're gonna get started in a minute. We're working the kinks out, ladies and gentlemen. We're on YouTube Live today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another day and another dollar. We are blessed as God gives us the life to breathe, His fresh air, and also being able to see with our eyes. We're thankful to be here. I hope everybody weekend is good. We're going to bring another episode to you from Take It to the Streets live morning show. We decided to go ahead and start early today because of our routine schedule. Got a little noise in the background, Hope. It's probably from your windows. All right, there you go. There you go. And we got our co-host here today, and he's gonna tell you about some of the things that he's been doing. You know, this weekend he was on Hot Facts with Robert Reese live last Friday. Is that correct? Last Friday, isn't that right, Hope?
That's correct, sir.
All right. So no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna let our co-host go ahead and read the chats and respond to everybody in the chat room and everything. We on YouTube Live, not StreamYard. StreamYard, I would have been clicking everybody comments on the screen, highlighting it and everything. So Hulksmash, go ahead and do you, my brother.
All right. Well, right here, TFT's in the house. Demetrius Gaston's in the house. Welcome, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome to the show, everybody. Um, my today's topic is an incident that happened to me today. I was actually talking to DREV as the incident was happening. I'm gonna go show a photo of an order from Doordash I had. Okay, I'm gonna switch my screen now to show it. All right. Okay, there it is. Focus. I blotted out all the information for the customer for their protection and everything. Now on this screen here, I would like to ask you before I even get into my story what I did. What is wrong with this order? What is wrong with this order? As you see, I took this order and I was delivering it. What is wrong with this order? Yeah, I gotta put it in the comments. You're good, Demetri. That's good. Been back to good. That's all good. But if anybody want to respond to this order right here, if not, that's fine too. I just want y'all to see it, and then I'm gonna explain this order.
All
Um,
right.
because this order right here, if by looking at it, is to me is confusing. You know, because the customer has two different instructions on it. They have the default, the instructions that the app gives you as the on the customer side. One is either leave at door. You hit the little bubble next to that one, it'll do that one, or you hit the bubble saying hand it to the customer. This is a hand it to the customer one right here. So since this is a hand it to the customer, I'm gonna put my screen on because I think y'all saw it. Well, let me see. Buenos dias to you too. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put my. Oh, yeah, can see me. Okay. So with this order, well, I'll just leave it there. All right. With this order, okay. I'm gonna read it out. It says hand it to recipient. So that's in the app. Hand it to me. Period. Then they wrote. The person wrote, "You can leave it on the bench by the door, please. Thanks." Period. Okay. Now with this order, the normal thing would be since it's from the app, hand it to recipient, it goes into a mode on your phone. It don't matter if it's iPhone or Android, it'll go into the software mode. I handed it to the customer. So normally when you hand it to a customer, you walk up to the door, knock on the door. If they have a doorbell, ring the doorbell. Sometimes the customer come out, but if not, you do those other two things there to get the customer out. Once you do that, it's not required to take a picture. Some people take a picture. This is just to cover because there's a lot of fraud going on saying they didn't get their food when it's handed to customer. So
Hey,
people
hey
like to like,
George. Hey
yes,
George.
sir.
They say they can't see the screen.
Oh,
Is there a way you can expand, kind of blow that up for them? Because we not on StreamYard to where I can put you on solo.
okay, okay. All right, sorry.
I can see it, but they want to see see can you expand it so they can see all the order detail
All right, can they
instruction.
see it now? Can they
Yeah,
see
they
it
can
now?
see it now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, so since it said all that up there, the front and instructions and everything. So normally, since it's on the computer, software from the for the program for DoorDash, you just go up there and hand it to them. Now, when you hand it to the customer, because it says that as the program, you don't really have to take a picture. But since with all the fragments on, you want to take a picture just to cover your butt. But now here's the question. It says here, just leave it on the bench. Now that's a leave it by the door should be, but that person didn't do that. They didn't hit that bubble box block. They hit the other one. So what I did, he was on the phone, but what I did is when I got there, I went and text the customer via the app to ask them, to tell them I'm here. And once I did that, I waited about a minute to see if they'll answer via text through the app. They didn't. So then I made a phone call via the app. They answered. I explained the situation by reading out the instructions they did and everything. Now the person on the phone said, "Oh, this leave it at the door. You don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Just leave it at the door. It's fine." But I was explaining. So then after the person said that, I explained to him, due to how DoorDash is, since you said hand it to me, you know, I had to hand it to you. One thing, but since you said leave it at the door, what I'm going to do is just to cover all the bases. I was going to give you a picture via the app and explain that you said the instructions via telephone that you said leave it at the door. So then that way, I showed that I understood your instructions and did what you said verbally, as well as on the in the instructions here in the instruction block. So that shows there. And also on the other end, it covers you. So when I got up there, I was walking up there. These people have a doorbell camera. So there is something that you could do. Well, you hit the little icon on the top right hand corner, a question mark, and then it'll go through, and then you could go and say, well, can't hand it to customer. But since you already talked to the customer and they said just leave it, verbally leave it. Now there's a doorbell camera. What I did was I just took the picture via the app, explained to them via the app in the text what they said, and then I got out of there. Now as I was doing that and stuff, I was almost done. I typed a little slow. Somebody came to the house and out from the house and grabbed the food and then went back in. But I completed my sentence and everything, and then I left. That's what I did. I did that to cover myself personally, so then I won't get no bad ratings. It also goes to DoorDash and explain the problem. Plus, I had a screenshot of that of this order, and I sent it to her as well. So I screenshotted the order as well and sent it to her, as well as took the picture with the food where they told me to leave the food at too. So it shows that the screenshot of what they did and said, and it tells the DoorDash that. So that's what I did to cover me on that issue. Now, since I explained what I did, I was looking. I didn't get no violations or anything yet, but I'll look throughout the day to see what would you do if you had that issue. If you had this and you already go on the way to the customer's place. So
The question that George is asking everybody, I had to step out the vehicle due to the sun was on the tablet. It says something about the temperature had rise, so I had to get out of the car so it can cool back down. Now there are several scenarios that we can look at, and there are several scenarios on how this could have went left. And the first question was asked was what was wrong with this picture. We have 5 people in the box. We would like for you to give us a 5 thumbs up because this is an informative channel. Okay, and from there, we want to share more information on customer related issues that us drivers go through on a daily. We want to provide more than to maximize your earnings to what you do in a situation like this. Leave at the door. Okay, but the customer wanted him to hand it to him, which was in the instructions. Okay, there's 2 ways you could handle this. He called the customer first. That's what I would have did too. I would call the customer due to experience. And sometimes when you do contactless deliveries to where they may not be there, and you have to automatically call them before you get there. But this was not a contactless delivery. It was a regular delivery. Said, hand to me, but she typed in, leave at the door. Number one thing, call your customer. That's what he did. He called the customer. Call your customer. Hello, Terry. How you doing today? I think she's live as well. Call your customer. So once he got there, she told him just leave it at the door. Question number 2 is if the customer tell you that they want you to leave it at the door, what would you do next? What would you do next? And we communicating with you, and that's what we want to do. We want to have it to where we have feedback. We had this conversation going. It was leave at the door. George called the customer. Customer told him to, no, it was handed to me, correction. But she told him to leave it at the door. Now, what would you do after you had that phone call conversation with that customer? Would you just leave it at the door and go on about the next order? How would you, finish this delivery or complete this delivery according to the instructions on your Dasher app? We're going to give you a few minutes to digest that, and I'm going to turn it back over to George. Go ahead, George.
Well, I'm just gonna wait here. You couldn't say no better, to see if anybody wanna give their input on this to see. This is just something that some people might not be aware of how customers. Well, on the back side of the story, when I was talking to the customer was kind of like snappy and rude, but I kept my cool and my customer etiquette, and I was trying to explain to the customer in a nice, calm voice, and I didn't try to talk over the people and anything. I listened, I shut my mouth, listened, and then once I found out she was finished, then I did my thing. But the way she was snapping and everything, me personally, I thought it was a setup because the reason why I said that is because when I was trying to explain to her, so since you did this and this, I was going to do these steps by taking the picture and explaining that you verbally invited in the text via the app, explaining that I have word with you and you instructed me verbally as well as on the app to leave it at the door. We wanted to make that clarification. You was to say no, you don't need to do all that stuff. Just leave it at the door. I haven't had trouble in this in the past. That's what she said. So that's why I was saying when it does that, that's why I decided to do
Good morning,
the
Tasha.
take the picture and leave it at the door myself. And I put the instructions in, and I took the screenshot of the order because it's only going to go to the customer and DoorDash. DoorDash already knows her address, and DoorDash and she knows her own address. So I didn't dox her anyway. And when you saw the picture, everything is blotted out, the address and the name. So there was no doxing, me doxing
Good
the
morning, Terry.
customer or anything like that. So you have to also watch out when you do that too. Is you know when you're doing videos also, and you're gonna do this thing, make sure you don't, make sure you cross out information that people don't need to know. So she can't catch me for doxing because she has an address and DoorDash has an address because she didn't want to put it in the app. So I'm safe with that. So there's nothing to come back to me saying I doxed her information out. So
Now I was showing the audience that I'm working off of two devices with my left
yeah.
hand and my right hand at the same time. Not showing out, ladies and gentlemen. It's just part of multitasking, viewing over with the comment section, seeing that we have our moderators in here. We thank you for being here today. The thing is, since I haven't seen anybody made any comments yet,
Yes, TFT did. I'll read it. TFT
okay,
did.
go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that.
Okay. TFT wrote said verify customer requests, then follow requests to the best of your ability and document everything. And that's what I did, TFT. I wrote back said thanks, TFT. Um, I did that when I was explaining. Yep. I just wanted to verify. I verified her request, make sure that what she wanted was correct. Because sometimes people might not know,
Thank
or
you for
understand.
sharing your perspective, TFT. Keeps us humble.
So so that's what I did. Yes, and then I documented everything. That's correct, TFT. And that's what I did.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and discuss the situation that me and George had. We had a disagreement, not a conflict. Let's make that clear. We had a disagreement, and he didn't do anything wrong, but we had a disagreement, and I'm going to tell him that he didn't do anything wrong. Also publicly, I was letting him know that he could have went ahead and hit, I can't hand to the customer, because there's two ways to do this, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to break it down to where you're going to be like, wow. It was several scenarios that could have went wrong. George didn't make a mistake at all. Now I had a difference of opinion. Now we're going to share our perspective on this. We had a difference of opinion. He did everything took by the book. He called her first, and when he called her, she gave him specific instructions. Remind you, this was not a contactless. delivery. So when he got there, he said, "Ma'am, I can't just leave it at the door. I have to take a picture." And he's right. I'm gonna get back in the vehicle a little bit. There's a little noise out here. I was waiting on my tablet to cool down a little bit because that direct solar rays and everything had heated the tablet up. All right, we're gonna. Hulksmash and myself had was a very important conversation. You can have a disagreement without being in conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did was correct. There's two ways, ladies and gentlemen, to take this picture. One is to go into the via text message, which he said earlier. He took a picture from there. Then he typed in the instructions. That's your documentation right there. Then he talked to her on the phone. Okay, recorded document, written document through the via text message. He took a picture, put it in the text, and then he gonna read that information in a minute. I don't want to spoil it yet for him. Now, the second technique you can use is I can't hand the delivery to the customer. When you hit that button, it's gonna take 5 minutes. Okay, now what do you do in a situation to prevent yourself from getting a contract violation and being deactivated is the question. Both techniques are correct, but you got to do it according to your situation. Determines which technique will be the right technique for you in that given situation. All right, Hulk Smash, go ahead and elaborate on that for our audience. If you see anything that they said that I have missed, go ahead and address that.
Okay, I was talking with Miss Terry. She was saying about how she follows the customer requests in the app. Then she was saying, especially after that one time, I had the lady try to get into a text battle with me because I knocked on her door and woke her dogs and their baby. Apparently, I guess with that one, something happened there. Miss. Well, that's what Tasha. I'm sorry, not Terry. It was Miss Tasha. Miss Tasha
Tasha.
was saying that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Miss Tasha. I wrote the wrong thing, so I corrected myself. Sorry about that. Um, I meant that for Miss Tasha. I'm sorry. So I'm doing it verbally. But yeah. Um, in that situation like that, yeah, he did have a little disagreement with me, but he didn't know that there was a camera, a doorbell camera. I had to also let him in to tell him that I had a verbal interaction with the customer, and that person was persistently saying, "Leave it at the door. Don't worry about nothing else." So when I was speaking up, that's why I was doing it that way. Is because one, she already instructed me just to leave it at the door. Don't even take a picture. But I was going to do it to save myself and just to show DoorDash what's going on. Also, she had a video camera, so the lady wasn't even home. Somebody else came out. There, she says that she wasn't even home. Somebody else came out um, to get the food. When you have a video doorbell camera, that means you don't have to be home to look at your camera. I can look at my camera from here. Everybody knows that. So that's a no brainer there. So she could be looking through her camera to see, because I just had that discussion. Now, if she said one thing and then I'm going to do the 5 minute thing, I'm over there after she already physically told me. And I have a chance that I could do it the other way by just taking a picture via text through the app and doing all that stuff. If I wait in 5 minutes, she could actually like say I'm trespassing because I already instructed that driver to get off my premises, just drop the food and leave. So I didn't want to escalate into something more than it had to be. She was already a little agitated
Mm-hmm.
and whatever. So I didn't want to escalate it even more. So I listened to her request, did that because that's faster than 5 minutes. Even though I type slow, I don't type that slow.
Right.
So that was faster than 5 minutes. Got that out and get on my way and just go do more orders.
That's correct.
So That situation there, the option one would be the best one. Now, option two would be good if she didn't have a doorbell camera and you didn't want to do all that typing. You already typed in the text. You could do option two if she didn't have a doorbell camera and you waited the 5 minutes and then hit the picture because it knows you waited there. Because you hit the little icon on the top right hand corner and went down on this and said, can't hand it to customer. Because you had to do it that way. Then DoorDash would know and the customer knows. Stu does the same thing. It does the same thing. It's just that you just hit buttons more than this typing. So let's work on your thumbs. So that's the difference right there. So, but the situation, you gotta know what situation you in. Do you want to wait there and risk them calling the cops on you because you at that person's house after they told you to leave, basically leave my premises, or do you want to just do whatever? So that's up to you. So I didn't want the cops coming or calling anything. So I got so
Now he did do the right thing. He explained why. Each situation is different, and this thing twisted. I'm trying to keep it from getting hot. All right, each situation is different, ladies and gentlemen, due to your situation. I so often talk about better business etiquette, quality customer service, excellent professionalism, great communication, right? But I leave out decision making. Decision making is the key to unlock those four doors. Tasha said that I had two orders over the weekend that said to call them to get a contact location. That's going to be a
mhm.
contactless delivery. I delivered it to their home. I wonder why they wanted me to do that. One customer said leave it at the door. All right, George, we're going to let you go ahead and give your perspective on your experience on this order here, and then I'm going to give mine after you get finished. Go ahead and address that
on
there, sir.
on that order right there, I had those two. Sometimes it could be somebody new to the platform of DoorDash for the customer side, and they're doing contactless, but they want to just make sure the steps are good, so they want you to do it. The apps are gonna have you, so when you hit complete steps or whatever, it's gonna it's gonna have you call. It's gonna say call customer or whatever. So it'll just tell you to call. And if you bypass that or something, then it's gonna have a timer, or so because it says contactless anyway. But then it's gonna be the first one's gonna be, it's still gonna say call, and the second one's gonna say take picture. Then then it's gonna have you write in the description where'd you leave the food and stuff. So my thing is when you get those, just follow how it is in the app call because it's what the app is saying to do because it's probably a new customer or so, or maybe it could be a problem child customer, maybe who not 100% sure. But I know that when I do talk to them, they said they're new. I did talk to the customer and they said they're new to that platform on DoorDash. They're just trying it out. So that's why I said new customer. Now problem child people might be something different, a PIN number or whatever. But that's what I see when it goes to that. Those are the steps. So then, as long as you follow the steps like that, it's documentation. Don't try to deviate from the app. Don't use your own phone, anything. And especially if they give you a number inside the little instruction box, don't do that. Call the number, hit the little icon, phone number first to see where it goes, or text first or whatever. And if nobody answers, then I will call DoorDash just to save you. Call DoorDash to say, well, here's the instructions. They left this phone number. But if I do that, it's going to unmask my phone number. You want to protect yourself too at all times. So you don't want to dox yourself in the presence because you see, everybody got caller ID on their cell phones or even your house phone. They got caller ID. So they see your number pop up, your actual number, they got you and they can do robocall, sell your number or whatever, get you all kind of stuff. They can find out information from your phone number and stuff too. So you want to try to protect yourself. So when you have that in there, you don't want to automatically go and dial that number, because when you dial that number, you're not using the app. You're using your actual cell phone number versus the mask number that they mask you when you use the app. So that's a little safety right there. So we get a little safety awareness in here too at the same time. So that's what I gotta say with that one on that incident there with Miss Tasha.
Okay. First of all, thank you, TFT, Terry, and Tarsha. Um, TFT said verify the customer request, then follow the request to the best of your ability and document everything.
Hmm.
And we don't want to leave out decision making. You can make the wrong decision and get reported and get deactivated, and you won't know that was the reason you got deactivated. You call DoorDash and they won't give you the answer. They tell you it went to the escalation team. You won't get any answers. You ain't got deactivated now. You know, they send you email notification that you got deactivated and everything. I done been temporarily deactivated on DoorDash, I know, at least 5 times on 5 different occasions. When you are temporarily deactivated, you got to go into your screen or the email. And I suggest the email because when they send the email to you, you got to give them a response. You got to give them a descriptive narrative of what happened when you want to appeal against being, wrongfully deactivated. Sometimes it's intentional from the customers. Sometimes it is unintentional due to communication breakdown. We living in a world that I just got through discussing with George that we are moving too fast. And what I mean by that is a lot of people say, I got short attention spans. You admitting that we're moving too fast. And this is how you know you're moving too fast when you're not allowing yourself to go through the thought process of thinking to where you make the correct decision. You're moving too fast. Or somebody trying to press you to the issue or where you can't get your thought process out so you can make the right decision. Things are moving too fast. We're not talking about automobile accidents and others. We're just talking about decision making when it's pertaining to stuff like this here. Content creators, we make this mistake all the time. You know, when we have our debates on our shows and everything, a real debate that we taught and was taught in school is not to talk over each other. You got to hear the side of that person talking first. Then when you hear the side, you get a chance to do your response to that. You don't interrupt nobody. You allow them to speak. And that's a bad negative thing that happens in our niche. Content creators talk over each other. When you do that, you confuse the audience. The audience didn't get anything out. Neither content creators message or a panel of content creators on there. That's what's going on. So I want us to keep in mind that we got to allow ourselves to go through the thinking process. Some people think faster than others, but that's all right. Go through the thought process. You got to go through this process in order to make the right decision. And if you're not able to do that, how can you make the right decision, ladies and gentlemen? Now, this is what I would have done, even though I would have been following the app instructions in this particular situation would have went left for me. I would have hit I can't deliver to the customer. Then I would have to wait at 5 minutes. But if the customer had already told me, drop the food off, get off my property, is basically what she's saying. I'm still hanging around there 5 minutes, whether she's in the house saying she's not at home or she's not at home, but she can look at her phone and see everything going on. Call the cops on me on active delivery. Then they might have been looking for somebody doing burglaries around it. I almost looked like them. Oh, that's the guy. Let's go ahead and put them handcuffs on it. DoorDash get in the wind that I get arrested, even if I was wrongfully arrested, guilty or not. I'm going to get deactivated off the platform. There's so many scenarios, ladies and gentlemen, that can go wrong with this picture by even doing the right thing. That's why I want to put emphasis on decision making. You see, he knew this don't feel right. You got to learn how to comprehend what you're reading on the app. I have so often said that if it don't feel right, it's not right. And sure enough, he called the lady. She snapped at him. Snapped at him now. First, she was listening to the voice to see could she identify. Was it a man or was it a woman? Was he black or was he white? People do this now. They do this, and you don't know that they do this. And some people be biased on how they treat one person over another. If it's a lady, okay, I'm gonna conduct myself a certain kind of way, respectfully. If it's a man, I'm gonna disrespect him in a certain kind of way. See, all of these things play a picture, ladies and gentlemen, which is true facts. Just like the little 13-year-old called herself going off on me. I told it in my video before, right? So when she actually saw who I was and seen that I was old enough to be a grandfather, her attitude changed. Maybe my voice didn't sound like a grandfather to her. I don't know. But the breakdown of communication, when we just quick to go to the ideal of, I'm going to assume this scenario. Let's get out our mind. I'm going to assume this scenario and find out what the scenario is really about before we make judgment on a situation and make the bad decision. Okay, George, any more comments in there? Go ahead and address them because I know I wasn't looking at it right now. I just wanted to get those key points out so we can start thinking about our decision making when we on these deliveries. Even though
That's
I
all that.
even though I disagreed with George, I wasn't doing George delivery. So he made the best decision for himself because he was doing that delivery, not me. Go ahead, George.
Well, we covered Miss Tasha Green and Miss Terry's questions and stuff. Mr. TFT, we also covered his and things like that. Um, this it just all I gotta say is when you get these apps, I mean the work isn't hard, but the customers sometimes don't understand the app. That's why it's good to like try to look at the customer side app to understand it, as well as with drivers. Some of us might not be actually customers for the app you're working for, but I said it I think before, like try to understand something. You had to know both sides. There's two sides of each story. Well, in this scenario, there's two sides of the story. You got the customer side app, and then you got the driver side app. If you're only on one side, you don't know what the other side's saying. You won't really have an understanding. So you don't have to do it often. Just turn on the app and just look through it, and see what is it doing. Because when you have updates, there's an update. There's usually an update possibly to the other app as well as with your app. As a driver. So, and that way, when you understand that, you can actually talk to the customer. There's other scenarios that happened that I actually spoke to the customer. They didn't even know that. They just said, "Oh, thank you for letting me know." So, and then on the back end, you might get rewarded from a 5-star rating, and possible tip, and if not, you get that good rating, and then next time you might get back to them, they remember you, and then they might give you a tip. So there's always good to everything. So that's all.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to also share my situation. I don't know if I knew I took screenshots, so it's going to take me a little time to pull them up. and everything. Reason why I want to do this episode, and not just me. Reason why we want to do this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We always talk about tips, strategies, and information on how to maximize your earnings. We want to touch on things that are possibilities that may turn into probabilities, or how we lose our accounts with these delivery apps and we don't have a clue. We want to share that information with drivers that can relate to these situations and scenarios. Now, just like I disagreed with George. Once again, I was not doing that delivery. George was doing that delivery. Both techniques were right, but there was one technique that was better for that situation versus the other technique. He used option one. I used option two. With nothing wrong with neither technique, but the better technique for that situation was option one. And I want to discuss mine as well. Let's see, can I pull mine up? Screenshots, let's see. I can't remember, did I send screenshots to you or not yesterday?
Right now, I can't see it. If you did,
Hold on, I'm gonna dig through. I didn't send them here, so I'm gonna see that I send them to you because I want to, provide a little proof on these different situations. I know I sent the text message of DoorDash sending me some information. That's why I want to make sure that I send them screenshots to you, and I'm hoping I did. Let's see. From what I'm looking at, I didn't send them screenshots to you. I think I sent to you how much I made off of that order. We're going to go there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had a triple stack order. Already had a stack order before it became a triple. Went ahead, dropped the first order off. Then I get an add-on. The add-on was the third order. The second order was when I ran into complications. This fit the topic for today for discussion because we're going to compare these two different situations and don't just look at the money amount that I made off this order. We're going to talk about the details we don't see on this order. First of all, this order was I can blow the screen up. It was 2 offers, 3 deliveries. And I'm gonna put it close as I can to the screen so you can see it. Slide it over a little bit so you can see it. Slide it over a little bit more so you can see it. Now I'm going to discuss it. It was on earned by time. This is how I make my money on earned by time. Okay, it was 3 orders. I want to talk about the McAllister. I had one at Pyros, and then I had one at McAllister and Zaxby. The McAllister order was the most challenging order on that order. Soon as I dropped off the first order, ladies and gentlemen, the customer started barking out instructions. The instructions was this right here. I need some extra honey mustard sauce. Then the customer called me. I know sometimes restaurants will charge for the extra sauce. Information man, how you doing this morning? Glad to see you here, bro. And sometimes they don't. This didn't feel right. When it don't feel right, it's not right. Okay. Remember that I showed you on that screenshot 3 orders, and I talked about McAllister. Please remember that, and then I'm gonna get to that story in this story. Now, I go there, I'm taking my time, I'm on earn by time, doing all my necessary steps. Soon as I got there, right before I got there, the customer started typing, "Is the order ready?" George and I, we talk a whole lot about our experience when we do these gig apps. Sometimes it's good for drivers to have someone to talk to that understands from a driver perspective what you're going through. There's a lot of anxiety that drivers go through driving alone and don't have anybody to talk to, right? That's where the mental health issues come in there at, because they don't have anyone they can talk to. All right. That's another topic for another day. I'm gonna have to probably step out in a minute. This situation, I'm talking to George. I said, okay, this not gonna go good. She's already asking me questions before I get here about, is the food ready? So I go to the bathroom first. What's up, Charles? Glad to have you here today. So I went to the bathroom first. She barking out some more instructions. I was like, what? She can see me in the bathroom now? I already knew this lady was getting ready to call the store, or she have already called the store. Those that do earn by time, you better go in and check in. You better check in with that customer. Better check in with the restaurant. If that restaurant is busy on the outside, take a picture via text message, send it to them. You better go on the inside right after you take that picture. You don't know who know these people in these restaurants. All right. So I goes outside and I walk about 50, 75 feet away, and I thought about it. I said, I'm talking to Huck because I didn't want nobody else to hear me. I didn't have my headset on. I said, no, I'm doing something wrong right now. He said, what is that, brother? I said, I need to go back towards that store. Because she's seeing me move around right now on that GPS. Went back to that store. I said, she's calling that manager right now. She's calling. I said, how you figure that? I said, she's calling that store, brother. I goes in there, and I told the lady I got to have the sauce. The lady said, it's in there. I said, no, the lady want extra sauce. So I goes to the car and I look at what number one tub of honey mustard. I said, I'm going back in there. The lady can see everything I'm doing now. She can see everything. So I goes back into the store. No, let me backtrack. Before I went back to the store, I called the lady. I said, look, ma'am, I was getting ready to leave. I already had took the picture and I told you I was on my way. Uh, belay my last on it. Wait a minute, did you just curse? No, belay my last. That's a military term that we use in the Navy, is hold up on that thought. I gotta correct what I just did. Isn't that correct, George?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Now I'm talking to her on the phone walking in. I said, I gotta keep you on the phone because they didn't give you what you requested. So we're gonna go in here and find out, is you gonna get this free or is they gonna charge you? Because she told me that if they charge me, she was gonna tip me. That was a red flag for me. Okay. So I goes in, right? I hand the phone to the young lady. She let the lady talk to the dude. That was the manager. He looking all like he ready to go to war, right? I said something not right about his attitude. So he went on and said, yeah, go ahead and give it to her. Wrapped it up and everything. I said, did that gallon of tea go with that order? No, that don't go with that order right there. Okay, when you're in a hurry now, that's what I'm getting back to earlier when I said that we be moving too fast. I'm moving fast trying to make sure I get this order to this lady, or it's gonna be some problems. I get the add-on. as I'm walking out the door to Zaxby. I got to get back on the phone communication as well as text information explaining to this lady I got a multiple DoorDash order. Cause I was getting ready to look in my app to see was it on the instructions. It was that guarantee hers. This is how I missed the step by the distraction of another order coming in. And I totally forgot to do that step. Bad on me, right? I goes over to the Zaxby. Now I know I got to really communicate with her and the new customer now via text message, pictures, and all of this. Now, another thing went on at the other restaurant because the customer was waiting on the inside, waiting to see was I going to show up or take my time. At the moment, I didn't know that. He let me knew it later, though. So this is not made up fairy tale stories we talking about. Now, if I had been on a live stream, you would have seen all of this. Okay, so went in, I'm trying to handle that order too. I got to thinking about this one. I said something about this one not right. But let me go back and look back at the second order. How far is this lady from the store? 2.1 miles, right? She got enough time to come into the store and see what's going on while I'm on this active delivery. You see how the plot beginning to thicken on these orders when we not paying attention to what we're doing. And people done told us, and a lot of Reddit books, Facebook groups, and content creators said we're just picking up orders and just dropping them off. There's more to it than that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing my experience. And I'm giving you my perspective that is true facts that these things can happen to you. This reason why it was imperative to do this episode on customer related issues. So this would help not only new drivers, but veterans as well, especially when you're doing this EBT earned by time. So I walk in all of this time now. I'm getting paid for this time, this extra time. I'm doing everything textbook, right? Then there was one thing I didn't do textbook. We're gonna talk about that in a minute too. So I goes over to the Zaxby. Dude, he like this right here, staring at me. I'm like, why is this man posted up with a frown on his face, looking at me? So I'm talking out loud saying, I just took the picture on the outside. Line busy. There's three people in here. I gotta wait till they get taken care of. I gotta take the picture on the inside too, because I know how these customers are. You know, bingo. Try to make a long story short. Now, I know we're on a live stream. This is important information. So it was a Mexican brother. He was up there getting his order. He was a delivery driver too. I wasn't gonna cut in front of him. Why? No, I gotta wait till it's my time. Another driver they took care of him. So I'm thinking this other guy was a customer. I mean, not a customer, but I thought he was a driver too. He's still looking at me like this right here, right? Then I started talking to him, sir. I got to make sure I'm taking care of my customer, everything. Suppose you a customer, I'm doing this order. I got to make sure I treat you right, explain everything and all of this. So I'm talking to him, not knowing I'm talking to the customer. So I goes in, I'm getting the package and everything. I said, that's that order right there. I said, have you been taken care of? He said, I'm good. He's still looking at me though. So I go ahead and everything, get the order. And the manager, she was listening to the conversation. I said, I got a question I want to ask you. I said, a lot of drivers make these mistakes. I'd have made them before too. Not being aware on how savvy customers are. Customers will call this restaurant, won't they, to find out why it's taking so long. It is the driver there. She said they do it all the time, all day, every day. And then she winked the eye at dude. Why did she wink her eye at dude? Because he was the customer waiting to see was the delivery driver was playing around with his order. And as I was doing all my steps, this man got in the car, parked and watched me. After I got finished and I texted the lady and everything, I guess the lady was letting him know the food on the way. That man blew the horn at me and gave me a thumbs up. That was the customer. You see what I'm saying? So when you're doing earn by time, I tell you people all the time that these customers are following drivers. Okay, got that taken care out of the way. So what I do, I go ahead to the second destination to remind you, I forgot the gallon of tea, right? Get there and everything, and then I look at the app now. The step that I skipped earlier because I had got another order, got distracted. I look at it and I said, wow, that was that lady's gallon of tea. So I go to the lady, give her tea. She in a little night robe, right? I'm not looking at the robe. I'm looking at her in her eyes, handing her her food. Okay, because I'm not trying to get in no worst case scenario, if you know what I mean. Now, went ahead and dropped that off. I said, oh, hold on. I said, hold on for a minute, ma'am. I beg your pardon. I made a mistake. She said, what you talking about? I forgot your gallon of tea. Now, that was due to I had another order came in before I finished reviewing your receipt to make sure everything was there. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go back and get your order. I'm gonna turn the platform off. Because once I'm gonna hit complete delivery here. This was the mistake I believe I made. I'm gonna hit complete delivery. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the other order off, even though it's the right instructions that I'm following by the guidelines of DoorDash. I went ahead and did that because I could remember the lady's address because I wrote it down. So I went ahead because when I wrote it down, I went ahead and put in my GPS. All right, so went ahead, dropped off the other delivery, went back to this store. The other delivery wasn't nothing but a mile and a half away. So I'm in the close proximity of this thing. So I go there and everything. I get the tea. Oh, we was just talking about you. I said, what you mean? Because you forgot the tea. I said, I asked you, was that the tea? You told me no. But okay, I forgot the tea. I'm here to get the tea. May I get the tea? I heard dude, the manager in the background, laughing at me. He knew that lady that was the customer. He knew her. Okay. So when I drove back and gave that lady her tea, let's see, can I pull it up? Because a lot of drivers, y'all wouldn't have done that, what I did. Hold on, let me pull it up. Can I blow it up? I may have to take a screenshot to blow it up. I'm going to put it up here on the screen. At the bottom down there. Right here at the bottom. My finger it. Right there. I'm going to read what was said. Then I'm going to take a screenshot right quick so I can blow it up. All right, we're going to take a screenshot of this. Remember, that order was a McAllister order. We're going to go back to that while it's doing what it's doing. Remember when I showed y'all that order? Better yet, I'm going to go into my app. We're going to pull proof out of my app. I thank y'all for being patient with us today on this information. I'm going to go to my app right here. And we'll go to earnings. We're going to pull this order up. It would be on yesterday earnings. So let's go there. I believe it was this one here. No, it wasn't that one. It was this one here. You know, I showed you earlier that order was $28.70, right? Let me go ahead and show you that order. And I'm going to show you something else. All right, I got to go back and find that screenshot that I sent somewhere else. Here it is. This is the order that I showed you earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Can y'all see that good? It
Mhm.
says $28. You see Pyro, you see McAllister and Zaxby, right? All right, let me show you what my app says. This is the same order. This is on my active app right now. Same order, $38.70. Everything's still the same. Now I'm finna share something with you. This is earned by time now. The thing that I just showed you a few seconds ago, I showed you this at the bottom. This pertains to the order, ladies and gentlemen. Let me blow it up so you can see it. You see that right there, ladies and gentlemen? Let me get a little closer so you can see it. It said, see, and I'm gonna read it. It said McAllister's don't. A customer added $10 tip on a past McAllister deli order delivered at March the 17th at 2:35 p.m. Keep up the great work. I just dropped the mic, ladies and gentlemen. I broke something just then. Might have been the phone. It might have been the phone just then, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a delayed reaction to what I just did. This is going to be a delayed reaction on what I just did. That was fun because I dropped the mic and I thought I broke the phone. It's still in good shape now. Every situation is different. Everybody can tell me how I shouldn't have done what I did, but you wasn't doing that delivery, were you? I was doing that delivery. I was trying to keep from getting deactivated. I was worried more about getting deactivated than getting a $10 tip. In the process, I should. All right. Now, in the process of that, ladies and gentlemen, that earned by time order, which was what, an hour and a half, I made $38.70. We didn't rob the clock. We didn't ride the clock. None of that. We was actually going through steps that we needed to do. Extra wait time that you go through when you do earn by time. Suppose there had been a catering order and it took 2 hours to do the delivery. That means I would have lost some money. So go ahead, George. Would you elaborate on what I just shared with you today and with our audience?
Yeah, I probably would have did a little different. First of all, like you have to, as a DoorDash driver, as a delivery driver, right? You have to make sure that you have your load, no matter what you're delivering. You can't have an excuse to say you was pressed or rushed by the customer. You gotta, you have an itinerary on your phone. Now, if you can see the T and you don't have the T, even though you asked for the T, and then something came in, you have to go back to that order and see to get it. So, there's not really an excuse there. You messed up on that part because, you was going fast, whatever, and you believe the customer without actually looking at your screen because the itinerary, what's on it, the items are on there. If you can see the items, now some don't have the items, then you have to ask and go by what the restaurant says. But if you can see your items, you could question each item to the restaurant. That is your right as a delivery driver. You want to make sure that you have all your items before you leave the restaurant, so you don't have to try to backtrack and all that other stuff. So that's the only part of the whole thing that I'm bringing out because you see, Each time I go, I have a double or triple stack. Each one, I look at each one. I'm at that store and look at each one. If I don't see it, I'll ask. Now, if something comes in and it makes the screen go weird, I'll go back to that screen that I was on because I want to verify that. Once I verify that, then that's when you hit confirm pickup. That's your verification. Now, you can't see if this thing is sealed. You just have to go by the word. But if you can see it, physically see it, a gallon of tea, physically see it, then you should be able to get it. Now, since you did that, that was good that you did that and stuff. You took that extra step and did that. Sometimes, I have time and stuff. I would do that myself. But
That
some,
was
if
good that you did that. Go ahead.
oh, but if you don't have time, what you can explain to the customer and then explain to DoorDash is that I forgot the tea by accident, and you recognize that it was your fault. You told the customer you recognize it's your fault, and then what I would have just done is explain to the customer that you doing something because you're busy doing other stuff too. That you could call DoorDash, on the customer side, and then they could reimburse you for the tea, or they could probably get another driver to, you know, bring it out there. Depends on how DoorDash runs it or whatever platform you're on. But on that part is up to you and whatever your situation is. So there's where again goes to your situation. He had three orders, he had to deliver, but he still found the time. He figured he wanted to make it right. He was worried about being deactivated. So that's not wrong. He did right doing that. It depends on what the situation. Me, I would have just made sure right then and there not get pressed by people to get my order, especially on the EBT. Even if you're on EPO, you still take that time. So it don't really matter what one you're on, really. But if you're on EBT, you got a little bit more time, I guess, if it does matter. But you still want to get your order to the people in a good time. You don't want to get it there cold just because you're on EBT and you can ride the clock a little bit or whatever they say. You want to still try to get your order out to the customers in a good amount of time so then they can enjoy their food that they paid for. That's the bottom line, is to make sure the customer gets their food and all their food if to the best of your ability to give it to them to transport it there safely and everything. So as a delivery driver, you still have a responsibility. You are, like sponsors or, like they look at you, they say, okay, you're a DoorDash, so you work at DoorDash. Well, you actually are representing DoorDash in that case because you are the eyes and ears of DoorDash. You're out there and you are listening to the customer. You're seeing what's around so then you can give so there's some insight of what you're seeing from different customers. So that's what I gotta say.
Appreciate your perspective, bro. Now there was a just then that was a disagreement. Okay. He disagreed with I wouldn't have done it like that. I would have did it this way. All right. Once we realized the mistake was made, I wasn't making an excuse. I'm saying what's actually happening. I already said in the video that I made a mistake, and I'm gonna get to that. When I made that discrepancy, I rectified that discrepancy. I could have did like any driver. I don't care. They're gonna get reimbursed and move on. That's not fulfilling my standards and principles on fulfilling my obligation to fulfill that customer order. If I want to get my orders right, I'm gonna make my money. And I made extra $10 in the process of it. See what I'm saying? I stopped everything I was doing. Now, let's go to a different scenario. Suppose I would have been multi-apping. We got all of these content creators, all of these delivery drivers that got all this experience. Don't let them just sit here and tell you they don't make that same mistake, ladies and gentlemen, because we do. Remember when I said earlier that we be thinking too fast and moving too fast? I dare any of you to tell me that you're moving too fast, you don't make no mistake. You're just too ashamed to publicly say it open just like I just did. We all make mistakes. That's a discrepancy. Now, what you gonna do to rectify your discrepancy? I knew I wasn't gonna do any other orders until I made sure that lady got hers. I made the mistake, said it. I missed it. Due to this happening, I wasn't using no excuse. This is what happened. We addressed the customer, took care of the customer like we're supposed to. Back to decision making. Everybody else would have sit there and said, I wouldn't have made the decision you made. That's you. That's my delivery with my name on it. So my thing was my standards, my principles, high standards, high principles. I'm also a customer. That's why I do a little bit more extra. That's why a lot of drivers deactivated today because they don't. You worried about missing out on that catering order, missing out on these diamond orders, missing out on these platinum orders. You lose more when you get deactivated off a platform, ladies and gentlemen. I fought for my rights. I fought for my customer rights to fulfill my obligation in fulfilling that order on my contract with my clients. Matter if I was perfect or whether I wasn't perfect. I rectified my own discrepancy. Understand what I'm saying? That's why I dropped the mic early. That's why I dropped the mic. We act like we too perfect in a unperfect world we live in. Anybody that has a short attention span, I can't wait, I'm impatient, you're gonna make some mistakes. Can't nobody on that say you won't. Feel what I'm saying? Us delivery drivers make mistakes every single day. Try our best to learn from and try our best not to make the same mistake. I'm still on the platform, which means I can make a whole lot more money than that one order that I'm trying to chase. I took care of that customer because I am that customer. I order off these platforms. More of your drivers need to do the same thing so you can understand how it is to be a customer, so you can give that business etiquette, quality customer service, that experience that customer need. In his situation as well as this latest situation, too many drivers dropped the ball. Not only did I make it a good opportunity for myself, but also a good name for the rest of us. I can't tell you how you do your business. I don't pay your bills. While I'm being ridiculed and being judged on, I wouldn't have done that. My way was the right way just then, ladies and gentlemen. People can disagree with me, but you don't pay my bills. I'm still on the platform. I got rewarded for it. Would have got more money if I had just stayed on the app and not delivered. I was too afraid that model would have gave a red flag and got deactivated. But it won't get deactivated. Plus, I was calling Doordash at the same time, explaining all of this that I left out and didn't tell you, all during the process. That's why I done called Doordash more than any driver probably in the USA. I done called them over 3,000 times, ladies and gentlemen, in the 3 years I've been doing Doordash. Why? This is what they tell me. Sir, you don't have to worry about that. You admit to making certain mistakes. We are human. We respect you for that. We're gonna do a documentation so you don't get reported for contract violation and it get escalated to deactivation, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do it again. Drop the mic. It depends on your standards, principles, how high they are in value, how low they are in value. So it's all right if people disagree with you. That's understandable. I disagreed with him earlier, but he did what was right for him. People disagreed how I did mine, but it was right for me in my situation. I got a good track record with the premium driver support team or VIP team. I'm up on a higher tier there. When I talk to them, they already know who they're talking to. Plus, I used to be a fellow customer service rep. That's a certain language we talk. So my thing is decision making, ladies and gentlemen. Are we moving too fast? Is the question. If majority of us got a short attention span, we are guilty of moving too fast. Sometimes you got to let that process think. Sometimes it takes people a little longer to process a certain thing. And if you're moving too fast, some may can handle it moving faster than others that got to move a little bit slower. We shouldn't judge them. That's the point I was getting at. That was the moral of this story. I commend Hulksmash and everything, ladies and gentlemen, of being a good co-host. He's already a content creator. This is content he's doing. I appreciate him. He goes in there and makes the right decision. Let's go back to the first episode of his situation. He made the right decision. It wasn't no wrong decision on what we both said, but the better decision, one that he made for himself, the way he wasn't locked up in jail and got deactivated off the platform, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to do this right here. That's what I'm trying to bring to the table. That's what we bring into the table. Content that people not used to. That don't make us better than anybody. We do a informative channel here. All right. What are we doing different than everyone else? Dressing issues that we all can relate to, voice our opinion and perspective, and don't be judged on. And allowing people to talk about the experience, even though if they disagree with us, that's okay. But we put a moral to this story today that's gonna make the whole world think. Guess what? Guess what we just did? We just blew minds like landmines. We just revolutionized right here today how we need to think. Not only when we're doing deliveries, but in general in life. You see, so I gotta give Hulk Smash a round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, gotta give y'all a round of applause. Got to give all the viewers a round of applause. Those commented, those was here, those that support us, that keeps us humble, cause none of us is perfect. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Hulk Smash, this is where we get ready to end our episode. Before we end our episode today, brother, this was a good. This was a good one, brother. So go ahead and address any comments that I done missed before we exit.
Well, I don't understand that one thing. I don't speak that language. There's one that speak that language there, but I don't speak that language. It's right after the information man said white. Then there's a different language right after that. I don't speak it, so I'm not sure what it says.
Okay, me either, but I'm getting ready to look something up while you go through the comment section though, because I noticed it too. I'm looking at it right now too. You know, because you're gonna have people, and
Because
we're
that
not
person's
trying.
probably saying something I want to see. I want to. They might be saying something that I just don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to go through right now, see what I can do about it if I'm able to do it at this time. That's what I'm working on now. Why you go ahead and address the others? Let's see.
All right.
I'm trying to go through right now. All right, let's see what we got here.
TFT is right about that. Take care of the customers, and they will take care of you. That's true. You know, the customers does come first. The bottom line is the customer comes, you know, comes first.
I
But
don't
you
know if
know,
that's Russian or not. Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm just talking out
but
loud. My bad.
yeah, but the customers gotta understand too that yeah, you seen on the app, you have questions, you could contact us, but just don't say, well, I need this, I need it now. Why? After you already explain them, they just still coming at you. They gotta understand that as long as you're actually keeping in communication with the customer, majority of them will understand. But there are some of just want to do what they want to do, and you have to just try to learn how to talk with those customers because you know you don't want to escalate something that's going on. You want to try to de-escalate it as much as you can, especially if they sound like they don't want to hear you, anything like that. And then there's some customers just don't know. So that's when the knowledge is, like when he say he's a customer also, sometimes, and I said it earlier, sometimes you have to like just look at the apps, once in a while. You might order something from them. I'm saying it all the time, but try to look at the apps. Or give it people who that do the side of the app so you can understand too. But the best thing to do is actually do it yourself because then you can actually physically see. Because even though just like the DoorDash app for the driver, the app for the customer could be different too. Like in my state, we don't do alcohol deliveries. Other states they do. So you gotta watch that too. So you gotta find out from your state, from people that actually work on the platform on both sides that you actually could trust if you're not doing it yourself. Also, you could do research, ask customer service, driver support, things like that. Do a little research in the app itself. They have a website. DoorDash have a website. You could go through there, the Q&A and stuff. They do have social media groups. You kind of get an idea of that way too to find out. So let's see here. Is anybody else?
Okay, I can pin messages up there. I did Tasha earlier. I'm gonna go back to her. I just got through pinning Charles a message accountability.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get rid of pin
Let's see. Charles
another
to the right.
message.
Information man said, right. He
I'll
was
get rid of
agreeing
pin.
what you were saying. Charles D
Yep.
said, boom. Hats off to the web. Boom. Still not sure what that one is.
This is
Charles D
TFT we
said.
pulling up right now.
Charles D said that we appreciate you brothers for sharing your views. Charles D said
hmm
we appreciate you guys for and coming in and voicing your opinions on the chat.
hmm
Let's see. Will take us all places. Yes, Charles D said honesty will take us all places. Yes, being honest, yes, will take you us all places in life. Yes, that's true. I believe that surely. You gotta be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, how you gonna be honest with anybody else? If you're out here acting like you're somebody else, then you're not really honest with yourself. You gotta be true to yourself before you can be even honest with anybody else. That's why I agree. So because say you on the other side of the fence, like you're a customer, and then you see a DoorDash driver, you know, doing what you do, what would you do? If that DoorDash driver did what you did, but you doing it in a negative way, and I thought this driver doing the same thing, but you doing it in a negative way. How would you feel? You know, you see the DoorDash driver come up with no bag, and you know they have bags. DoorDash drivers, coming up there smelling like smoke and stuff, and having dog hairs and everything over there. Now, some people have service animals. That's a little different story. But I'm just talking about like you might have your own dog in your car, whatever doing, but yet you're having the food in there, but you're not cleaning your car. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm not going on service animals because service animals are different. There's service animals are there to help the person, but I'm just talking about you have your animal, but you have them in your car working and stuff, but they don't really need to be in your car. Or you had them in your car and stuff, you had all that hair and stuff all over. That's what I'm getting at. So you over there, you
Also,
get mad. You over there, you
also,
get mad. Okay, man.
also check your pin comments as well. Finish up on what you're saying, but I'm putting some pin comments in here as well.
All right.
Information man, he gave you a salute, my brother.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. So you got to just think. How would you want to be treated? When you go and sit down in a restaurant, you
Right.
just enjoying some food with your family and friends or whatever, or just by yourself. How would you want to be treated? Do you want the Here's a question I got for everybody, and they could do it. Um, if you go to a restaurant and you get seated down, and then as you get seated down, your server comes over, and your server asks you or tells you, "Well, where's my tip?" Is this a question for another topic? But it kind of comes
Okay.
into this though, because people have attitudes because of the no tip up front thing. But if you
Uh-huh.
go into a restaurant and you sit down and the server comes and they confronted you and say, "Well, where's my tip? I want my tip first." How would you act? You don't have to answer it now. We're gonna have a topic on that as a topic. I'm just throwing down a little topic thing here, that little cue for next topic we're gonna have.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna be the topic of discussion. But it comes in this, but you don't have to answer it now. But just think about that and see. How would you feel if somebody just came to you and said, "I want my tip," or else you ain't getting served? Well, basically, that's what you're doing. That's what you're saying when you taking these jobs and you notice there's no tip on it. Now, some people might have their opinion about it. I understand. This is just my opinion. You know, I tip for the service, but depends on how the service is. I tip more. I have percentages and stuff I have in mind already to tip. But if the service is even beyond stuff more than I expected, I even tip more. But I still tip. But I tip at the end until I get the service rendered to me. Yeah, you ordering online and stuff like that, and then they delivering it to you. But there's a service attached to that. How was the person if you greeted them at the door? Were they friendly? Did they was rude? They just shoving stuff in your face? Did they even want to talk? Whatever. All these things, as part of service, and customer service, that you are giving to the people. So let's think about that for a little bit. You know, this is a thought I had, and I just wanted to bring it out to you guys. So
That's a good thought, brother. That's a good thought. And
okay,
that will be the next topic of discussion. The great creativity that you have.
all right. So
And
you said there's some comments that you highlighted. What were they?
no,
Let me see.
I done already done them, brother. You probably do you see it's gonna be a pin message. You're gonna see
On the top of the
Leo
screen, that
yeah, yes,
Castro, he
yeah,
said
yeah.
hi. So hi, sir.
Yeah, this driver is one of the drivers I was talking to you about this weekend that I met. He's from California. I want to say Anaheim. I want to welcome him here to Tennessee, and welcome him also to the channel. New subscriber and everything. We glad to have him here. He choose to want to look at this channel to get information on how to maximize his earnings, how to do things the right way as a delivery driver. And he's here today, a new subscriber. Now, since I know how to use the pin messages, we can be able to highlight messages just like we do on StreamYard. So that's a good thing. You know, yeah, that's a good thing. I know last time when I tried to do it, I accidentally hit the report button on someone. So I wasn't trying to report nobody. You know, it's just getting used to the functionality of the bells and whistles of what these programs use when you live stream. And like I said, you got people that try to bash people for making mistakes, and I want people to know we all make mistakes, so we shouldn't bash each other. Okay, let me see. I see another comment on here.
How you doing, Easy
Let's
Night? Good
let
morning,
me
brothers.
do it just like that right there. Yeah, it
Yeah,
should be at the top now.
yeah. I just said hello.
It's
Welcome
all
to the
good.
channel again, Easy Night. Yeah.
Now
I
we
answered.
think. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Hulk. I didn't mean to do that. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Charles D had a comment. He said exactly agreed by time. Uh, Tips are for extraordinary service. There's a baseline tip from me and an over the top tip from me as well. So he was agreeing with some of the stuff I was saying before. So I answered him, said I agree at Charles D. Um, so he has a certain tip, baseline tip, and then depends on how the service is because he's going to tip. So he's saying he's going to tip no matter what. But then depends on how the service goes, he'll put more of a tip on it. So that's what he was saying.
I'm more about the principles of how my business. If I give poor and sloppy service with my business, guess what that's going to attract? Now, if I care more about my business and care more about people, more so than the dollar amount, so we know from here that that matters with me. In the military, I was an honorable man, had the honor man's award when I was in boot camp and all of that. I believe in principles and standards. I'm not saying nobody else do. That's not what we talking about. I'm not targeting anybody. I'm just explaining the type of person I am and how I run my business. You know, how can I be the complete driver if I never had the customer experience of drivers delivering food to me? I started with being a customer first so I can understand once I become a driver how I can give and deliver that exceptional delivery experience for you. I did the same thing with Lyft. I was a customer first before I became a Lyft driver. Believe me, those things help you become a more better and mature driver. You don't know when that person you open that door for, you don't know the blessings they can give to you in return. If you always out to be me, and my, that's how you're gonna miss your blessings. There's more I want to talk about on today's episode, but just like he said, we got more topics. I could add that in later. We want to be able to bring value to the channel. You saw how me and him had a disagreement. And during that disagreement, we did not talk over each other. We did not interrupt each other in the disagreement. He was allowed to say his side. I was allowed to say my side. And we didn't have no conflict. It wasn't a debate. It just was a difference of our perspective on how we run our business. Was either one of us wrong? No. Was either one of us, both of us was right, but neither one of us was wrong. He was letting me know the mistakes that I made in the course of my delivery. And I did make the mistakes. You see what I'm saying? We said that earlier. He just went ahead and he elaborated on newer drivers. This was the mistakes he made. Make sure you don't make no excuse for the mistakes and try to rectify those discrepancies the best way you know how. You know, everybody gonna do their deliveries different. Everybody gonna do their orders different. So I was an example today that I do make mistakes. And we talked about that. He was able to talk about it. I was able to talk about that. You see the person I have over here as my co-host, don't you? I'm able to talk to him, and he let me know, you know, DREV, you made a mistake on that there, or you wrong on that there, and I listen. I take one of these ears off and I listen to what he got to say. I don't know everything. I don't want to be the content creator that portrays that I'm Mr. Know-It-All and don't let anybody talk, or I disagree with everybody that don't agree with me. It's all right to disagree, ladies and gentlemen, as long as it don't be no. I'm learning to listen more so I can learn and grow and mature and help others and show it in my life if I have to be the example. That's all right. Great job. Great job, George. That's what real friends do. Still seeing you fall on your face. Look, brother, watch that. You off the cliff. That's what I like about that man. TFT do the same thing. And many of you that's in here today do the same thing. Cause you don't agree with me, I don't have any business to sit there and discard your information cause you don't agree with me. I don't want everybody to agree with me. I'm not right about everything. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. What else we got that I have missed?
Me and Reezy Knight was saying he was saying about Prop 22. It's like it's like y'all EBT. So I was asking him. I said, "Do you get Prop 22 earnings once a week?" And he answered, said, "Yes, folks, man." And I was saying that the EBT program, you get your earnings every day. You know, so that's it's a difference there because they get their Prop 22 once a week, but we get ours every day.
Okay, what part of
Uh,
California? What part of California is RK from? Fresno, Anaheim, LA, Moreno Valley, Syracuse. Not Syracuse, but Sacramento. What part of California you from?
he just said California needs to change this. He says, Inland Empire,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Moreno Valley. He just said it.
I already know. I know who that is too, but that's okay. We good. That's what I want people to understand. Respect other people's decision making. Respect other people's ideals. Respect other content creators' content is the message I want to put out there today. Respect that. You will never see me go on somebody's channel and try to kill their credibility as a content creator. That's the message I want to put out there. I got to take this because I held it long as I could, and it's gonna warm back up. And when it warm back up, it's gonna tell me to get ready to time out because it's pretty warm. The device is right now because I'm parked in the sun. I had the coat blocking it for a minute. I got to step outside so that air can get to it and everything. This is the message I want to send to everybody in the gig community. If you claim to be an independent contractor, you claim to be a business owner, and if you believe in these things we talked about today, then you should agree to have connections with the businesses outside the United States. You should agree with bridging the gap with the customer, with the merchants, with the employees. And ladies, this month is Women History Month, and we're going to salute you. We're going to salute in a way that has never been done before by me and by Hulksmash. That's not excluding anybody, but sometimes when you say you done did something the first time, people get offended. That's the reason why I throw that rock towards us. We have an obligation to this community to give the best value that we know how to do it. People gonna get mad. That's all right. People gonna talk bad about us. That's let me know we doing the right thing. They wish they had a thought of it too. But I'm not gonna go on somebody else's channel disrespect them because the old folks taught me this right here. If I don't have nothing good to say to you, I'm not gonna say it at all. Which mean is I'm not gonna go on your channel and disrespect you. And I hope I can get that same respect on mine. Just as simple as that. That's the message I want to send out there in my community today. You see, I never dog out a person cause they learning something for the first time or it's new to them. I'm gonna help that person, guide them through the way. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause one day it's gonna be something I don't know, and I may need you to help me. So I'm not gonna bash you cause you don't know. I'm gonna give a hand and help. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what real men do. I thought I needed to put that information out there today in the closing of what we got to do. You know, some people like to step on others in order to make themselves feel like they better. I'm not here to be better than. I'm just trying to be a better man. Anything else you want to say, brother?
No, sir.
All right, I guess we're gonna get ready to exit out of here. And appreciate the people that was here today. But we got a different kind of channel. That's not knocking anybody because we said we got a different kind of channel. We trying to help people understand who we are about. You know, I'm gonna have to update my description of what the channel is because it's growing and it's got to be modified. So I don't want anybody to think we stepping on anybody's toes out there and everything. There's gonna be people that's gonna not like what you do, but if you're doing the right thing, you still do what you have to do. I know a lot of people have said, "Man, DREV, I wouldn't have went that route with it." That's you. You saw the difference in the receipt on earned by time. It was over an hour. It was about an hour, 37 minutes of something like that. $28.70 turning into $38.70 because of a decision making. Let's revolutionize the way we think, which is our mindset that reflects or affects the way we deal with people due to our decision making. Our decision making can cause some things to happen. Well, it could be positive or it can be negative. You know, and I put down a Charles Gray pen where he said exactly, I agree big time, tips are for extraordinary service. You see, that's how I told you, that's how I get my money. I don't look at the orders at all, man. Now, there are orders I do decline. $8 order, 15 miles, I decline those kind of orders. Unless the order taking me into another neighborhood I know they got hiring in restaurants and they pay pretty well. I probably do that. There are times I do take the orders to keep my ratings up. I'm not gonna treat them no less than the person that paying $50 tip. I'm gonna give them that same service, that same experience, because I am a customer too, and so are you. You may not be a customer on DoorDash platform. That vehicle that you driving in, you have to buy that vehicle somewhere, which means you have to be a customer to buy that vehicle. Now, isn't that right? So, is there anything I done missed so far, brother, on the?
The chat. Reason Knight said
Mhm.
that he was asking let me see, he or she, I'm not sure. Um he goes, he or she goes, Reason Knight, D-Rev, you know me? With a question mark. I wrote back, I guess he does at Reason Knight. And then he wrote, been subscribed to for 2 weeks. Now that's what's up. And I wrote back, I said, that's awesome at Reason Knight. Reason Knight just wrote back saying, treating the customers, clients with the utmost care is how you get them tips. Charles D said, awesome, awesome show, fellas. Reason Knight, I'm brother. So that's all the comments that was just came in not too long after you was talking, while you was talking. So do you want to address the one when he say he's asking you, do you know him?
No, I'm not going to
Or her?
address them. I already addressed that answer in what I said earlier. So that's what made
Okay.
him ask that question. You know,
Okay.
yeah. But my thing is, I'm not going to toy with people's feelings. Okay, I'm not going to play with nobody's mind. What you see was what you get with me. I don't gaslight people. Okay, I don't have a PCP syndrome. I'm not after power, control of preeminence or prestige. Okay, we here to do a service to mankind as well as women, help people maximize their earnings, help guide people into making the right decisions, because the decisions is up to you. How do we do that? By turning the light bulb on, because then you discover truth for yourself. But I will tell you this here about the new tier system program. I will be putting information out about it that no one else has put out there. I guarantee that. That's not belittling anybody else. That's why I don't be too quick to try to be the first one to put out content on certain subjects. Let the thing progress on, because it hadn't hit all these markets yet. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to try to discourage people to become a platinum level dasher. There's no more diamond icons when you in the tier program. It's platinum icons for platinum orders. It's no longer top dasher with the new program. It's platinum dash. You're gonna hear drivers start saying platinum because I'm putting it out there. They say we ain't gonna use platinum level dasher. We're gonna modify in the content from platinum level dasher to platinum dasher. Alrighty. This new program will be one of the most talked about subjects in 2024 as it graduates itself into more and more markets. You're going to hear complaints versus the debate of people that's maximizing their earnings. I'm going to show you a secret, and it's coming out soon. But it's going to go first to the members. I thank Hulksmash for being a member, Miko the entrepreneur for being a member. There's going to be information I'm going to be giving, going to go to the members first. And there's going to be information I'm going to go to the members, going to be just members only. I give out a lot of information, ladies and gentlemen. And let me see, can I find it before I end this show? You know, let me go here. And let me go here. We're going to give you a sneak peek of what the next episode going to be. You know, well, you may be helping somebody else put the content out before you, but they can't tell you my story. That's the difference. Can I find it? Wow, let's see. Hold on. I done built up a nice little catalog here. Let me try something else. Since I done built the catalog up, let me try something else. It's not over there. I already know that. Let's try this. All right, let's see. That's gonna be the thumbnail to my next up and coming video. There, you can barely see it, but there it is right there. There's gonna be a lot of content talking about the platinum dasher. All the content that was on top dasher will be replaced with the platinum dasher, or what I call it, the platinum level dasher, in the up and coming weeks, not months. Because I'm going to put it out there. Reason why I know what I'm talking about. Others going to follow that trend too, because it's a trending topic in a market near you. All right, brother, we need to make some money now. I know I do. It's tapping into your money time, mine's too. You hear me, Hulk? Or you just I saw his eyes just blink just then. He gave that Marine look just then. You know, sailors know how to look like Marines too. We've been around them a whole lot. You ever been over there to Camp Lejeune or Hulk?
Yeah, I have. I have.
All right, we're gonna leave it like that there.
I have.
We're
I
gonna leave it
have.
like that there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have.
Any last words you want to share with someone of a vote of motivation for the day to make their day a better day? Just before we do, I did see a little bit of Pedro live. Last night I saw Marcus, I saw Roy. I only seen maybe the first 20 minutes. There was something that does concern me. Not about the content creators. It's about my fellow delivery drivers. When we drive alone and you may not have other drivers to talk to, and it seem like people can't understand you due to the certain situations because we in this gig life. People tell us, man, go get a real job. I can relate to people telling you, go get a real job. I'm going to address that too one day. Define to me what is a real occupation when that occupation deals with making money. I ain't talking about dope dealing and none of that. Making a professional money with your business clients that are businesses, licensed businesses. That's all I'm going to say on that. Go ahead, Hope.
All I gotta say is, just go out there and drive safe. You know, be aware of your surroundings and stuff. Try to just slow down a little bit. Try to read the instructions. When you have a question, don't don't be afraid to ask. You know, if you can't get in touch with the customer, if you because the question came from the customer that you have a question for the customer, then call driver support and then read the question, read what you have the question about when they ask you how can we help you, and see if they can maybe they can get in touch with the customer if you can't. And that's all. Just enjoy life, you know, spend some time and enjoy life. I know everybody's got their reason to do what they have to work, but there's always time to enjoy your life because you only have one to live. That's it.
All right. We get ready to hit the next music. I will be pinning comments up, ladies and gentlemen, so you'll be able to see those comments like I do on StreamYard, except for you got to look at the top. It will pin it, so you'll still be able to see it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in my intros and outros. If you come in before the show and everything, it's gonna be 3 minutes long. It's for you in the introduction of acknowledging the people that's in the room. Now at the end, it's for you again, acknowledging if I miss you or we miss you. Even if we miss you in the comments, we'll make sure we give you that shout out in the next video. You know, so peace and take care, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into our outro, and I will be pinning comments. Everybody have a great day. Peace and take care. We see you in the next video.